ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome back to the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu study, the Nectar of Devotion summary study. We have been discussing the scriptural proof for the 64 limbs of devotional service. Today we will be beginning the discussion of 44th limb, Tat Kripa Ikshanam. But before I go to that, other day somehow there was confusion about 39th limb. The verse was different and the translation was different. So I just will explain this and then I'll go to text, 44th limb. In Malya Aurobiam from the Tantra, Pravishta Nasika Randre, Harer Nirmalya Saurabe, Sadhyo Vilambya Ayati, Papa Panjara Bandhanam. When the fragrance of the garlands, Harer Nirmalya Saurabe, Saurabh means the fragrance, of the Lord enters the nostrils, Pravishte Nasika Randre. Immediately the bondage, Sadhyo Vilayam Ayati, created by piles of sin, is destroyed. Pahapa Panjara Bandhanam. So Vishwanath Chakra Thakur gives one line comment. The phrase Papa Panjara Bandhanam means bondage created by piles of sinful acts. Now we should also remember that the chitta, our contaminated consciousness, the impressions are from millions of lives. And only once the four Kumaras smelled the tulsi which was offered at the lotus feet of Narayan, Tasya Aravinda Nayanasya Padaravinda. And immediately there was a transformation and they became pure devotees. But for sadhakas uh, doing sadhana bhakti, we should repeatedly come in the contact with these spiritual sense objects. And slowly, the chitta will get purified. the unlimited material impressions will slowly be wiped. So we can also practically understand that the piles of sin are huge, heaps and heaps of mountains are there. So every time we are doing one of these angas like malis or Aurobiam, this is the effect. It is happening. It is happening. There's no doubt about it. Maybe we can't perceive it, but it is happening. That we should be sure. Then the Agastya Samhitayam, we discussed that verse. Only there was some confusion here. So now we will come to, after discussing Shravanam, then Nam Shravana, Charit Shravana, Guna Shravana. There are three, and the quotations are from Garud Puran, 4th canto, and then 12th canto for Shravan, which we finished in the last class. 44th Anga is Tat Kripa Ikshanam. Iksha means to see also, and Iksha in a metamorphical sense can also mean to expect, expecting the Lord's mercy. This is one of the most important uh, angas, especially for sadhakas, and there is a beautiful commentary given by Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, and Srila Prabhupada also writes in his summary study. We will look into that. So Tat Kripa Ikshanam Yatha Dashami. This is Brahmaji's prayers in the 14th chapter of the 10th canto. Tattenu kampan su samikshamana punjana evatmakrit vipakam ridvavabhubhir vidadhan namaste jivetayo mukti pade sadhaya bhag. My dear Lord, one who, yah, earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him. Tat te anukampan. Anukampa means mercy. Causeless kampan means mercy. Su sama ikshamana. So Vishwanath Chakra Thakur and Jiva Goswami will give what this sama ikshamana, what it means. So we will see that time. All the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds. Bunjan eva krit vipakam. Bunjan means to enjoy. He is enjoying, but here it is suffering. What is suffering? Atmakrita vipakam, his own reactions of his past misdeed. So, one who waits for your mercy and patiently goes through all the suffering of the reactions of his past misdeeds. How? By offering you respectful obeisances, Vidadha Namaste, with his heart. Now, this is very important. Heart, words, and body. Rid va vapupi is surely eligible, Sir Jivata, for you, the shelter of liberation. Mukti Pade, for that is his rightful claim. Yaha Daya Bak. So, the Daya Bak principle also we will see from the Manu Samhita. So let us now go to Jiva Goswami's commentary on this. Jiva Goswami has given a very interesting commentary. In this verse, two different sadhanas, expecting the glance of mercy and offering obeisances, are mentioned together to glorify their exalted positions. So a sadhaka should do two kinds of sadhanas. One is he should always be expecting that the Lord will bestow mercy upon me. And when the sadhaka is going through the sufferings of his past reactions, then he doesn't say, "Oh, Krishna, why are you doing this? Why are you putting me in so much trouble? I'm doing my sadhana bhakti so nicely. Why am being put in so much suffering conditions?" No. Whenever he is being put in suffering condition, he says, I am supposed to suffer million times more. Oh Lord, you're so merciful. You have just given me a small dose. And genuinely from the heart, Rid Va Vapuvir. He goes to the deity and genuinely from the heart offers, prayers to the Lord. He offers obeisances. So this to do the second sadhana, especially when you're going through difficult times, when you're suffering, the reactions of your past karma is not so easy. The first sadhana is a little bit easy compared to the second, but the second one is not so easy. So once one sannyasi was telling me that one of his disciple went and prayed before Krishna Balram. Oh Lord, Krishna Balram, please purify me swiftly. So after offering this prayer, this sadhaka went through a lot of crisis with respect to his health. He was going through a lot of suffering. So the same sadhaka later on came and prayed to Krishna Balram, saying that, my dear Krishna Balram, please purify me slowly. So it's not so easy that when you go through the reactions of your past karma, whether you are in that mood of offering heartfelt prayers to the Lord. So this is an important sadhana. So two different sadhanas are being mentioned, and that's why it's very exalted, in fact, to do this sadhana. They should be both understood to have great results. So there are great results if we do these two sadhanas. One is expecting the glance of mercy, and although going through severe sinful reactions, offering with heart, words, and mind prayers to the Lord. Mukti Pade means the Lord, the shelter. 10th topic of discussion in Bhagavatam of liberation. The 9th topic is liberation, Mukti. Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanamutaya manvantare shanukata nirodha mukti rashraya. So the 9th topic is Mukti. So Mukti Pade refers to the Lord here. Such a person becomes the rightful claimant of the Lord. So a person who executes these two sadhanas, he becomes a rightful claimant, Dayabak. So in the Manu Samhita, the Dayabak principle is given. Just like the son will rightfully inherit the father's property, the only criteria for the son is that he should remain within the family and not cut off from the family. And of course, he should not die before the father dies. So, just like the son will rightfully claim the father's property if he is linked with the father and he is in the association of father, similarly, a devotee uh, does these two sadhanas, always expecting the glance of mercy from the Lord and always from his heart, body, mind, and words offering prayers, stays in devotional service, then he will attain liberation, who is the shelter of liberation. The Lord exists as a property to be apportioned to the devotee. So, it's, we are inheriting the Lord's property in one sense. So, this is Jiva Goswami's short commentary. Now, Srila Vishwanath Chakra Thakur has given a very moving commentary to this purport, and it is very, very interesting for us to know this. And it is very touching, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's commentary. So let us go through Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's commentary. Then we will go through Srila Prabhupada's points in his summary study. And then if you have questions, we will take it up. Understanding the meaning of this topic, having given up all other practices and performing only bhakti, one will attain you. So Vishwanath Chakra Thakur says, giving up all other practices, one is only practicing bhakti, one will definitely attain the Lord. However, in what manner should a person do this? So how one should perform his bhakti, in what manner? How will that devotee attain the Lord? In expectation of such a question, this verse is quoted. So there is a question Vishwanath Chakra Thakur himself is asking, and this verse, Tatya Anukampa, is answering that. Tat here means therefore, indicating that because of the glories of the Lord mentioned in the previous Bhagavatam verse, that is 10:14:7, the devotee acts in this way. So how does he act? Atmakrit Vipakam means happiness and suffering that occur during performance of bhakti. Now, Atmakrit Vipakam. Atmakrit means done by himself in the past many lives. Now, Vipakam. Now, Vipakam is a very interesting term in Sanskrit. Now, I would like to ask a question. Everyone knows amla. Amla is a fruit. And what is the vipak? Means when you eat the amla fruit, uh, what is the vipak? Transformation, what happens when you chew with the saliva? What is the taste of amla? Anyone would like to answer can raise your hand. Think about it carefully. At least everyone knows amla, I know, right? So what is the taste of amla when you chew and eat it along with, when the saliva gets mixed? What exactly is the taste of amla? Anyone would like to try? Okay, Pavan Balgovind Prabhu has raised. Santana Lakshmi Mataji has raised her hand. First, we'll give her a chance. Yes, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Its taste is combined with sweet and bitter.
It is not bitter. Sweet is okay, but it is not bitter. Yes. So many devotees have typed in the chat box sour and then sweet. Sour, sweet, and bitter. Somebody has typed. No, it doesn't come in katu. Katu is bitter. Neem leaf, karela, they come in bitter category. But amla is sour. And when you eat amla, it initially tastes sour, but as it mixes the saliva, the transformation which happens is that later on it becomes sweet. So actually, in Ayurveda Shastra, especially Rasa Shastra, I mean not the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Rasa Shastra, the Shadboshan Rasa Shastra, the taste of a particular item is determined what happens after transformation. So in that sense, the vipak of amla is sweet. Similarly, we might do actions and the vipak now is reactions. Reactions. If we have done pious actions, then the vipak is pious enjoyment. If we have done atmakrit of sinful actions, the vipak. What is the vipak? The reaction. So the reaction will be suffering. So that is why the term here used by Brahmaji is atmakrit vipakam. Vipakam is the reaction. So atmakrit vipakam means happiness and suffering that occur during performance of bhakti. Now, moment one takes up to bhakti, all devotees have experienced that while practicing bhakti, we are sometimes in happiness and sometimes we go through distress. At this performance of bhakti, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur is quoting, Dharmasya hi apavargasya narto arthaya upakalpate nartasya dharma ikantasya kamo labhaya hi smrita. So the highest dharma for a bhakti yogi is apavarga. Apavarga is liberation, but for a devotee it is prema. So a devotee practices bhakti to attain the mercy of the Lord, to attain prema for the Lord. So in that sense, it is anya bilashita shunyam. For a jnani, he will perform jnana yoga dharmasya in order to attain liberation. And for a yogi also, he will perform dharma in order to attain liberation. That is ashtanga yoga. Now, for all three, jnanis, yogis, and bhaktas, all three artha. When you perform dharma, artha and kam naturally follow. naturally follow. After dharma comes artha, artha comes kama. So when artha comes, the jnanis and yogis reject it. They reject it. This is not our goal. Our goal is liberation. But for a devotee, many devotees have experienced that when come to devotional life, they might flourish. They might get more material wealth. But one should see whether how I am using this wealth. Now, more I am using this wealth in propagating Krishna consciousness, or I am enjoying this wealth that would drift me away from Krishna consciousness. So, with the practice of bhakti, also artha will come. Na arthaya arthopakaltate. So, one who is on the path of bhakti, he will not use the artha for enjoyment. Na arthasya dharma ekantasya. One who is dharma ekantasya, one who is one pointed to attain Krishna prem, he will not utilize artha for what? Calm, for calm. So for the jnanis and yogis, the artha and calm comes, they reject it. But for devotees, the artha and calm, they will utilize in Krishna's service. This is very, very important. So Atmakrita Vipakam means suffering and happiness while performing bhakti. So Vishwanath Chakra Thakur quotes 1 to 9. Further, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur says, a secondary unsought result of bhakti is happiness. It's a secondary result. The results of aparadhs are suffering. So we don't practice bhakti that I will become happy. No. Bhakti is done exclusively for the pleasure of the Lord. Anukulena Krishnanushilanam Bhaktiruttama. So when we give happiness to the Lord by performing devotional service, naturally we become happy. So that is why bhakti is a secondary unsought result. Happiness, sorry, not bhakti. Happiness is a secondary unsought result. Now devotees also go through suffering. Now it is very, very interesting here that Vishnu Chakra Thakur says that the devotees who undergo suffering is not because of past karma. It is because of aparadhs. It's only because of aparadhs, he says. So these aparadhs are of various categories. There is Nama aparadh, there is Vaishnava aparadh, there is aparadh because aparadhs which are born because of pious activities in the previous life, aparadhs which are born out of sinful activities done in the previous life. Kar, not karma unmattu. I'm not able to recollect the term, which is there in Sanskrit, but it is aparadhs because of pious actions done in the past, aparadhs because of impious reactions done in the past, and there is aparadhs in the form of nama aparadh, chanting the holy name, and then there is Vaishnava aparadh. So the devotees exclusively here, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur is very clear, says that the suffering. Okay, I will take up the question once I finish this discussion. The devotees exclusively Vishwanath Chakra Thakur is saying that suffering is because of aparadhs. Now, please do raise your hands if you have questions, so that otherwise, if you type in the chat box, then whatever I'm speaking ahead, you will not be able to follow the discussion. So there is one question by Dhanalakshmi Mataji. How come aparadh done by pious deeds in past are sufferings? Yes, interesting. Now, suppose somebody has a pious conditioning from his previous life. He is born in a cultured Brahminical family, say in a Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya family. And in this life, somehow he comes in touch with the ISKCON devotees. And he has this pious conditioning, you can say cultural and spiritual conditioning from the previous, taking up to Krishna consciousness coming from a Shiva Sampradaya. So when he comes to ISKCON, here the bhakti rules are quite different from what the rules are as to do's and don'ts within the varnashram. So having not understood that, one devotee was telling that he's a brahmachari, he's from a Sri Sampradaya, but he's now a very dedicated brahmachari, uh, a Bhakti Shastri teacher. He was telling how his mother is a Sri Vaishnava and she's been following Sri Vaishnavism since her childhood. And she's now taken up to devotional service. So once he gave, his Guru Maharaj Mahaprasad, and she, moment he told this is Mahaprasad, Mahaprasad, Guru Maharaj, instead of honoring, he said, "Oh, Uchishta." No, I don't know. Right from her childhood, her conditioning is that anything which is Uchishta, remnant, is considered contaminated. So it is not according to their rules. So she immediately rejected it. So sometimes our pious conditionings, cultural conditioning, spiritual conditionings, can act as a barrier in bhakti. This is one example I'm giving. Another example, one senior devotee told me that there is one businessman, he's a business tycoon. In fact, he's one of the millionaires in the world. He's somehow connected to Chowpatty temple. And, one of the brahmacharis, when he had gone to London, so this businessman told him, "You go and stay in my flat, my house. He's got a palace." And the brahmachari was telling that that house has only 25 kitchens. You can imagine how many rooms must be there. So this businessman is very favorable to practice spiritual life. He's very favorable to the brahmacharis. He's very favorable to the spiritual master, and he comes to the Mangal Arati also. And he likes to associate with the brahmacharis. And he says that because of my pious actions I have done in my previous life, there's so much wealth I have. But this wealth is an obstacle. I would also like to be and stay with you as brahmacharis. So whenever he comes to the Chowpatty temple, he goes in the brahmachari ashram and he spends time there. I would love to stay as a monk with you all, but what to do because of my business empire and so much money, it is like an obstacle. So sometimes the pious actions, they act as an obstacle in bhakti, and sometimes the impious actions. Sometimes we have some conditioning, like we have been habituated to smoking or drinking or some other habits, and these impressions might trouble us while practicing sadhana bhakti. So I want to, practice wholeheartedly sadhana bhakti, but the impious conditionings are causing trouble for me, and that is also kind of suffering. One is he is suffering in his mind because of the impious actions which are blocking him in the path of bhakti, which are creating obstacles, and it is a kind of suffering he goes through. So like that, the pious as well as the impious reactions can act as obstacles in bhakti, and they are kind of suffering. So that is how we should understand. And Vishwanath Chakra Thakur in his Madhurya Kadamini mentions that uh, the both Sukrute and Dushkrute, pious and impious reactions are completely destroyed, completely. Atyantika. Atyantika means complete destruction, happens at the stage of asakti. At the stage of asakti. Please remember this. So at the stage of nishta, nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. Praya means almost. That is praya. Atyantika means complete destruction without any resurfacing back. So at the stage of nishta, one is practically very steady, and the pious or the impious. The pious are sattvic conditionings. The impious are rajasic and tamasic conditionings. They don't trouble. So that is how we can understand. I hope this is clear to you, Mataji. Okay, fine. Any other questions up till now? Okay, fine. So let us continue what Vishnu Chakra Thakur has to say. Very interesting. So the results of aparadha suffering And with the practice of bhakti, naturally, the secondary result is we relish happiness. We go to the festivals and we participate in the festival, we participate in the kirtan, we participate in the yatras, and naturally we experience happiness. So both the happiness and the suffering is coming from the practice of bhakti. So here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, experiencing both of these results from his bhakti. Now mark this point, from his bhakti, not because of his karma. Because I mentioned that moment a devotee takes up to devotional service, Krishna takes control over him. He is no more in the law of karma. He is no more in the jurisdiction of law of karma, where Paramatma takes control of his pious and impious reactions. Krishna will decide, even if he has heaps of sinful reactions, Krishna might decide to give a dose of it just so that he can become serious in bhakti, or he might give it for many years so that he can become steady in his devotional service, or he might not give at all. Ultimately, Krishna decides this. This one should have very, very firm faith. Many devotees, when they go through suffering while practicing devotional life, they sometimes go and consult an astrologer, and the astrologer says that, oh, maybe because of this dosh, that dosh, navagraha dosh, and we tend to practice or do some, atonements or sacrifices, yagyas, or some activities. Actually, if we do that, it means we don't have faith in Krishna, faith in bhakti. And moment we tend to do that, Krishna also says, oh, I have taken charge of him, but ultimately he's taking shelter of karma kanda. So Krishna also, during that moment, he is not controlling that devotee. So like that, that can happen. So that is why we should understand the results are from his bhakti, atmakrit vipakam. The devotee sees this. Iksha. Iksha means to see. Su sama ikshamana. Su is a prefix. Sama is also a prefix. Su means, very finely. Sama means perfectly. Samyak rupena iksha. Perfectly he sees. And finely, or very nicely. Su can mean many meanings in Sanskrit, but I'm just giving. Shushta. Shushta means fine or subtle. Clearly, so for Shushta, and accurately, I said perfectly, for Samyak as your mercy. So devotees who are not su sama ikshamana, they think maybe, this is, I'm suffering because of, because of my bad karma. No, all this suffering is coming out of bhakti. All the happiness you're experiencing is directly a secondary result sought from bhakti. He knows that happiness and distress that he is experiencing stems from the Lord's mercy alone. Stems means the root. So the happiness one is experiencing Krishna conscious, the root is Krishna. The distress he is experiencing, it is Krishna's mercy. This one should have firm faith. Very beautiful example Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives. This is very moving and very emotional. It is just like a father who sometimes makes his son drink milk and sometimes bitter juice made from nimba leaves. So the father, sometimes his loving child, he gives him milk. Milk is nectar. It is very tasty and he feels happy. The child feels happy. But sometimes he gives neem juice. Neem juice is very, very bitter and it causes so much pain. So the father sometimes makes the son drink milk or sometimes bitter juice like nimba. Now, how the devotee sees or how the son sees, I do not know, but the Lord, like a father, knows what is good and bad for me. And thus sometimes he embraces and kisses me and sometimes slaps me. So this is another very emotional analogy Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes. So sometimes the mother might give neem juice because she knows that it is good for the health of the child. There is a disease. And sometimes the mother will give milk, which is nectar, amrit, which is nourishing for the child. So the mother or the father here, uh, knows what is good for the child, what is good and bad for me. So I am completely dependent on the Lord. The Lord is making me suffer. The Lord knows that it is good for me. And I am going through experiencing happiness. That is also Lord's mercy. And here is another example is, just like the father embraces and kisses him, that means he is experiencing happiness, joy in Krishna consciousness, and sometimes slapping in the form of suffering. I, his devotee, have no power at all over karma and time. So I don't have any power. He alone, by his mercy, makes me experience happiness and distress and makes me serve him. He is only making me experience happiness and distress, and at the same time, he is taking service from me. The devotee considers his situation in this way, in the manner of King Prithu. So this father, who knows best what is best for the child, and sometimes embraces or kisses him, and sometimes slaps him, or sometimes gives milk, or sometimes gives bitter nimma juice, is exactly the situation what Prithu Maharaj prays when he has the darshan of the Lord. Beautiful prayer is there in the fourth canto. Tvan tanmayayadya jana isha khandita yadanyat ashashta ritatmano buddha yatha charet bhalahitam pita swayam tata tvam evarasi nasamihitam. O Lord Isha, since foolish people, yad abuddhaya jana, injured by your maya, twan maya adya khandita. Khandita means they have been rejected or injured. Desire things other than worshipping you. Anyad ashashta rita atmanu. You should choose without asking us what is for our benefit. Tatha tvam eva arhasi na samihitum. Just as a father acts for the benefit of his son. Yatha charet balahitam pita swayam. So when the Lord asked a benediction from Prithu, so I don't know what is beneficial for me. I might ask something which might be detrimental. So it is better you choose what is best for me, what is beneficial for me, and what is the analogy? Just as a father acts for the benefit of his son. So there was a famous devotee in the Kumar Sampradaya. He is the Acharya uh, Nim Aditya, Nimbarkacharya. He is from the Kumar Sampradaya. Now, Nimbarkacharya, it is said that he was a devout devotee of Lord Shiva. And especially in Navdeep Dham, under a banyan tree, the Brahmanas were 15 days worshipping Shiva, 15 days Vishnu. So when they were worshipping Shiva, being very much pleased with the sincerity and simplicity of Nimbarkacharya, Lord Shiva appeared to him. What benediction I can give? So Nimbarkacharya also said that time, I don't know what is beneficial for me. Whatever is most dear to you, you give me that. So then Lord Shiva said, for me, the most dear is Lord Krishna. He is my worshipable Lord. So I am giving that to you. So he personally gave the deities and he directed Nimbakacharya that go there at the end of, I don't know which deep, Ritu Deep or Rudra Deep, I don't recollect. There, the four Kumaras are sitting in meditation and they will initiate you in the knowledge of worship of Krishna. So Nimbakacharya, he is a direct disciple of the four Kumaras. So like that, what is beneficial for the son, the father acts like that. So similarly, uh, we don't know, we are foolish and we have been injured by Mane and we don't know what is really worshipable for us and what we should choose. So just like a father acts for the benefits of son, you act. So similarly, here in this verse it is mentioned, just like the father sometimes makes drink milk or nimba juice, nimb juice. and sometimes embraces and kisses. So whatever is beneficial for the child, father does. So similarly, in this verse, Prithu Maharaj is saying the same thing. So that's why Vishnu Chakra Thakur quotes this verse. Now, interesting sadhana, revealing himself daily to the Lord. Now, this sadhakas should do it as a regular sadhana, revealing himself daily to the Lord, revealing his heart, speaking his heart to the Lord, offering respects with mind, words, and body. Ridva Vapubir, passing his life while not being unduly tormented. So one should not become too much tormented by this, why this trouble is coming, and constantly yell about it. Oh, somehow Krishna has put me in this trouble. Krishna knows what is best for me. So I will rest on Krishna's mercy. One should not unduly torment himself. The devotee becomes the rightful claimant of mukti or liberation from samsara, secondary effect, and pada or service, primary effect at the lotus feet. Dvanda compound considered as one unit, mukti pade. So this is a compound word. So the primary effect is one will get service for the Lord. The secondary effect is liberation, which devotee never soughts, never seeks. As remaining alive is the cause of a good son receiving his inheritance, so the devotee remaining alive in this world with steadiness on the path of bhakti. So how one should remain alive? While steadily practicing bhakti is the cause of his receiving freedom from samsara and the service to the Lord. So very beautifully, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur has brought out these points. So any questions you have regarding Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's commentary? Then I will go to Prabhupada's commentary, because Prabhupada brings out some more additional points which I would like to discuss. Any questions? Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam. Prabhu, how do we understand this part that suffering is coming from the Lord? Because usually when we do some mistake, we take the responsibility, right? Like, because I did something wrong, it has happened to me. How we can put it on the Lord? How do we? I did not understand that.
Yes, that's the point I was trying to make. We have done past actions and reactions are coming. The actions once we have done, the reactions come, and they come in four phases as we studied. Prarabdha, Kutam, Bijam, Phalonmukam. Prarabdha. So actions, once we do, the reactions come. If it is sinful, then there is sinful reaction. If it is pious, then there is pious reaction. Now, this is what we have done past, we cannot change it. But when a devotee takes up to devotional service, although that devotee, because of his past karma, has to suffer a lot of sinful reactions, but Krishna has now taken charge. Krishna has now taken charge. So Krishna will decide whether how much he will give the reaction dose. He might not give at all, he might give a small dose, or he might give more also to make him serious. That Krishna takes control. That we should have faith. This is one thing. Now the present actions, what we do. While practicing devotional service, we might do some actions and we might commit some mistake. We might do some aparad towards the Vaishnava. We might do nam aparad. Now these are reactions in the form of suffering which come to us. Now Krishna gives a slight slap to tell you that no, be attentive, or through some devotee he might guide you so that you be on the track. So Krishna might give some suffering, or he might guide us like that. The sufferings which come from the past are controlled directly by Krishna, and the sufferings at the present which come while performance of devotional service is because of the aparads we commit. Now, another example to understand, a simple example is, suppose there is a king's son, and this king's son is having a severe disease. and is going through suffering. And there is another son who is a poor father's son. He's also going through the same disease and the same suffering. Now, who is suffering? Is the sufferings equal to both the king's son and the poor man's son? And what is the analysis? What is your understanding? You only have to answer, Mataji. Who is going through more suffering? I have unmuted you.
Yeah, Prabhu. It is both will have their karmas, right?
Yes, but who is going through experiencing more suffering among the two? They have the same disease, they are going through the same crisis. But who is going through more suffering?
Father.
No, the king's son or the poor man's son?
Mm.
The king's son is going
Poor
through.
man's son.
Huh?
Poor man's son.
Yes, the poor man's son is going through more suffering. Why? One is, although the king's son is going through that suffering, but the king has the best of the facilities.
Mm.
He has a physician, he has personal, opulences by which he can take care of all the things there. But for the poor man's son, he doesn't have the best of the facilities. So he goes through a lot, although it is the same disease he's suffering. Another example to give. Suppose a rich man's son commits a crime, a simple crime will take, and a poor man's son commits a crime. And both get imprisoned. Both get imprisoned. Both are there for 2 days in the prison, in the jail. Now both have committed the same crime and both are in the jail. Who is experiencing more suffering? Whether the rich man's son or the poor man's son? Now this carefully think and answer. For you only it is now.
Yeah, poor man's son, Prabhu.
No. Now it is the rich man's son who is suffering more.
No, because he has the facility to take his son out by so many ways, the rich man's son.
No, when they both are inside the prison, the poor man's son is used to living that kind of a life.
Oh, okay.
Whereas the rich man has been living in royal opulence, for him it is internally a lot of trouble to be in that place. So he internally goes through crisis. Similarly, in the devotee association, when we commit apara to Vaishnavas, sometimes we go through a lot of suffering, and it seemingly seems that the outside people sometimes might not go through that suffering, that kind of a suffering. So these are some ways we can understand, and I will come to that when I discuss Prabhupada's purport. I'll come to that more in detail. Any other questions anyone has about Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's commentary on this? This Anga Tat Kripa Ikshanam, one should regularly study Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, and Prabhupada's commentary regularly. Regularly, as a regular sadhana, we should do it because it will help us in our life. I'll tell you definitely. So, any other questions anyone has? Like, oh, yes, like Shah Rukh Khan's son. Yes, that's the correct answer. Yes. Yes, Mohan Rup Sham Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhu. So can we say that like Krishna, what he does for the devotees, he will take us one step closer to him. This is what he does for the devotee. So we should believe on that, and then we should accept the sufferings as its blessing that he is taking us one step closer to him. Can we have this understanding? Right?
Yes, we definitely have to have this understanding. At the same time, when we commit aparadh, Krishna is also taking us away from devotee association. That also, we should have a right understanding. So, sumikshamanu. So, when the suffering is coming because Krishna is giving that, it's difficult to judge, but it requires a lot of maturity to understand whether that suffering is coming because Krishna is giving, or I'm going through some suffering because of some Vaishnava aparadha I've committed.
Some aparadha,
The
yeah.
Vaishnava aparadha can lead to, going out of the association of devotee. So we have to judge whether I'm feeling happiness in the association of devotees, whether I'm progressing in Krishna consciousness, whether I'm getting taste in chanting the holy name, taste in practicing devotional. If I'm losing this taste, means there is something we need to introspect. So like that, it is because of aparadhs, we have to be very, very careful about it, because that will, Krishna, can tolerate anything, what his devotee does. He might commit unlimited sins while practicing devotional service. Api chet su duracharo bhajate mam, and su duracharo, he might commit the greatest of greatest sins. He might take Krishna's wealth and run away. Krishna, for him, what is this wealth of this world? It's completely insignificant. That Krishna will not mind. Krishna will still consider him sadhu. But if you commit an offense to his devotee, Krishna will seriously, you know, look into it, and he will really see that that is not tolerable to Krishna. That is not tolerable to Krishna. So Vishwanath Chagar Thakur explains in his Bhagavatam commentary that the moment we commit Vaishnava aparadh, the first symptom is that we slowly go away from the association of devotees and we fall in bad association. This is with respect to Dvida. Dvida was he was a gorilla in Krishna Lila. Balram killed him. Dvida was there actually in Ram's army. He was the brother of Minda from the Kishkinda province. And both these brothers were great heroes in Ramayana. And Duvida, being such a great associate of Lord Ram, when Indrajit injured Lakshman and Lakshman was lying unconscious, Duvida committed an offense thinking that Lakshman is a mortal being. And because of committing Guru Aparadh, Lakshman is Adi Guru, Duvida slowly fell in bad association and he became a demon. And he became such a big demon that he started destroying villages. He used to go in the ocean, and he was so powerful that with his hands he used to create waves in the ocean and cause cyclone and tsunamis around the villages, giving trouble to living beings. So like that, from Treta Yuga till Dwapar Yuga, this demon survived. And it's only Balram again who killed Dvida. So that is the understanding we have, that once we commit Vaishnava aparadh, Krishna will not tolerate it, and slowly we move away in bad association. So moment that is happening, we should again sincerely confide and confess to our spiritual mentors, do the rectification for the aparadhs, and be again situated in devotional service. Is it clear, Prabhuji? Okay. Fine. We will now see Prabhupada's summary study, what he says in his summary study. Beautiful. Prabhupada brings out some additional points. In the 10th canto, 14th chapter, verse 8, it is said, this is the same verse, my dear Lord, any person who is constantly awaiting your causeless mercy to be bestowed upon him, and who goes on suffering the resultant actions of his past misdeeds, offering you respectful obeisances from the core of his heart, is surely eligible to become liberated, for it has become his rightful claim. So Prabhupada in the translation, constantly awaiting causeless mercy. One, goes on suffering, Atmakrit Vipakam, and then Ridva Bapubir. From his heart, genuinely he offers prayers. Now, Prabhupada says, this statement of Srimad Bhagavatam should be the guide for all devotees. So what is the guiding principle in our devotional life? This statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. It should act as a guide for us. This is Prabhupada, so much heavy weightage he gives for this statement of Brahmaji. A devotee should not expect immediate relief from the reactions of his past misdeeds. No conditioned soul is free from such reactionary experiences because material existence means continued suffering or enjoying of past activities. So, moment we take up to devotional service, Kleshagni is happening. The Lord is deciding how much to give Klesha, and that is the symptom of Sadhana Bhakti, Kleshagni and Shubhada. So, with the end of Sadhana Bhakti and the beginning of Raganuga Bhakti, we cross this Kleshagni stage, and in Raganuga Bhakti, Shubhada, all the auspicious qualities like compassion, tolerance, all start manifesting. So, until we have not crossed Anarth Nivritti, we are facing the reactionary experiences of suffering and enjoyment. If one has finished his material activities, then there is no more birth. This is possible only when one begins Krishna conscious activities, because such activities do not produce reaction. So bhakti activities are called as akarma. Akarma means actions which don't produce reactions. So we should also be very careful that we perform actions in devotional service with this guiding principle of Rupa Goswami's Anya Bilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anamritam, Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktirutam. We do it exclusively for the pleasure of the Lord, favorably, without expecting any results or any other desire. If we do actions that I know I'll do this altar seva, and after I do the altar seva, I expect the temple brahmachari to give me a feast, what is being offered to the Lord, then that is not Anya Bilashita Shunyam. Therefore, as soon as one becomes perfect in Krishna conscious activities, he is not going to take birth again in this world. So Prabhupada is mentioning that until we become perfect, that means we attain that highest stage of Krishna consciousness, like Bhava and Prema. Till then, the reactions will be there when we have to go through the sufferings. A devotee who is not perfectly freed from resultant actions should therefore continue to act in Krishna consciousness seriously, even though there may be so many impediments. So the reactions are coming of our resultant actions, but one should continue in his devotional life. When such impediments arise, he should simply think of Krishna and expect his mercy. He should not think that this is because of my karma. This is given by Krishna. And Tat Kripa Ikshanam. We should have this mood. That is the only solace. Now, this statement has to be marked. This is the deep solace in the heart we should take. What Prabhupada is saying. In one morning walk, Srila Prabhupada's disciples were asking, Prabhupada, we see that sometimes the devotees go through a lot of suffering compared to the materialists. The materialists seem to be enjoying, and the devotees who have taken up the path of Krishna consciousness, they seem to be going through a lot of suffering. How do we understand this? So Prabhupada made a very remarkable statement. He said, for the devotee, this is his last life. And whatever sufferings he has to go through the future millions of lives, all that Krishna is giving in this one life and finishing his business so that he can come back to him. So the devotee might go through a lot of suffering, but anyway, we should think this only one life I have to suffer. But for the materialist, because of his continued action and reaction, for millions of births he has to take Janm Mrityu Jara Vyadi, Janm Mrityu Jara Vyadi. He has to continue his suffering for many, many births in this material existence. But for a devotee, he should ultimately think, oh, this one more birth I have to suffer. And Prabhupada said, he should take solace in this one lifetime of suffering. It's worth it, he should say. So this is how Prabhupada also says there, and here also, this is the only solace, he says. If a devotee passes his days in that spirit, it is certain that he's going to be promoted to the abode of Lord. By such activities, he earns his claim to enter the kingdom of God, Dayabak. The exact word used in this verse is Dayabak. Dayabak refers to the sons becoming the lawful inheritor of the property of the father. In a similar way, a pure devotee, now Prabhupada says not a devotee here, a pure devotee says, who is prepared to undergo all kinds of tribulations in executing Krishna conscious duties, becomes lawfully qualified to enter into the transcendental abode. So this is regarding Tat Kripa Ikshanam, very important anga of sadhana bhakti, which is a guide for all devotees. Any questions regarding Prabhupada's points in the summary study? Any questions, any clarifications? Okay, so we will just stop today because I had planned only to take this one verse for today's class. And tomorrow, 45th limb onwards, scriptural proof we will see. Madan Mohan Chaitanya Prabhuji has a question. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hari Bola, Prabhu. One question I have is that the liberation we are talking about from the material world and going to the abode of Krishna is our goal, or only Krishna Prem is our goal?
No, our goal is Krishna Prem. And we discussed in a few classes back how the pure devotees don't desire liberation at all. And sadhakas who are engaged in devotional service should never aspire for liberation. Jnana karmadi. Jnana means the jnani is practice jnana to attain liberation. So jnana karmadi anavratam. It should be not covered by. So liberation is not at all aspired for the devotees. Otherwise, it is not anya bilashitasham. So liberation is a byproduct. It comes. Whether it comes or doesn't come, the devotee continues his devotional service. Whether he's in the spiritual world or he's in the material world, the devotee does devotional service. Suppose Prabhupada gave the example of a typewriter. The typewriter who's doing typing, whether he is here on earth, he will do typewriting. He goes to the heaven planet, he will carry the typewriter and he'll do that. So for the devotee, it doesn't make any difference. Wherever the devotee is practicing devotional service, actually it is Vaikuntha for him. Because Krishna is there. Krishna is there. Tatra Tishtami Narada. As you know, Lord Narayan tells, Naham Yogino Hridayava, Naham Vaikuntha, Naham Yogino Hridayava, Yadr Gayanti Mad Bhakta, Tash Tishtanti Narada. Wherever my devotees are glorifying me, I am present there. So in that sense, if you see, bhakti or wherever devotional service is executed is superior to Vaikuntha also. Because the Lord leaves Vaikuntha and comes there to participate. The Lord is eager to be in that association. And we see many examples in the Gaur Leela when in Kheturi, Narottam Das Thakur did the first Gaur Purnima festival, and in that Kirtan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu and the Panchtantra came there and they participated in the dancing. And only the pure souls could have darshan. So in that sense, wherever devotee is practicing bhakti, that is the spiritual world for him. So he doesn't aspire for liberation at all. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you,
I
Prabhu.
have not attended those classes. We had a series of classes on that point. And I've sent the notes also, word files I've sent you, which is also I mentioned that it is a regular sadhana which we should regularly read those verses of Bhagavatam. How that moksha kama, because mukti, bhukti, spurha. As long as the desire for bhukti and mukti is there, pishachi, it is a pishachi, it is a demoness. Then how can you relish the nectar of happiness of pure devotional service? That's what Rupa Goswami says. In that context, we had spoken a lot about it. Okay, any other questions? So fine, then we will stop here and tomorrow we will begin on 45. So 45 to 64, another 19 limbs are remaining. That will end Sadhana Bhakti series. Then we will, in short, cover Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti is only 40 verses. We will cover it in short. Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti is quite short. Don't worry. Okay. श्री भक्ति रसामृत सिंधु की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री रूप गोस्वामी पाद की जय. हरे कृष्ण.